November 3rd, 9:30 p.m. Had a doctor's appointment today around 2:30 and had a few errands to do. Anyway, I'm in a lot of pain, and I've been in a lot of pain the last few months, but this one is like chronic now. My shoulders, usually when I'm lying down, along with my hips and my bones, but my shoulders, when I use my arms too much, my shoulders, the bone, the shoulder area right to the neck is so sore. And then, of course, the joints. And then when I'm sleeping, I have to switch every 5 minutes because it feels like my hips are gonna collapse into each other. Like the bone is just gonna shatter. So yeah, and I'm sure sometimes this pain that I'm getting, sometimes it gets worse due to maybe I ate the wrong thing, or my sensitivities come out in pain, not allergies. Like rash is very rare. I mean, the only time that I got a rash was in 2013. I had huge, like almost a 1-inch radius water bubble rash on my body, more my upper body, my wrist, around my wrist, lower part of my torso, just below to the side of my belly button, and then up just above my, around my chest on the left side, and then on my neck, a couple on my neck, and even on my ear, huge bubbles, and I ended up in the ER, and that's when I was crying for 3 days straight. It was sort of a psychosis breakdown, I think. It wasn't just the pain that I was crying, it was mental, brain damage or whatever. So, I've come a long way, but it'll never stop. I went through not bad times for almost a year, and then I had a slip and fall, and it's really not the slip and falls, the fault, really, because I'm already a victim. In January of 2017, black ice. I went down. Thank God I didn't wipe out on my back or anything, because that's it. But I went down on my left leg, just below my knee, the bone that protrudes out. And oh my God, that was in 2017. I still have bone bruise. Bone bruise, when you get bone bruise, like the whole entire leg below the knee right to the ankle, bruised. And the bruises were like black red, and I didn't even hit those parts. It was all around my ankle, and then I didn't know, I also had a tendon rupture, or whatever you want to call it, in my ankle. Something like that. So yeah, I was in really bad shape, and the bone bruise, even till today, when I crawl into bed, if I'm on my leg, like when I'm crawling into bed is really the only time, or if I'm sitting and I'm leaning against something, I can feel my bones feeling sore. But it's still improved a lot. But this is the life of a floxy. You're up and down. But I just thank God that I am nothing like I was within the first year and a half, 2 years. It was like hell and back. It was worse than hell. It was worse than hell. I mean, I had well over 30 serious damages. By 7 months, I was dying, and I had my miracle, because I was praying to God and crying to God every night around 8 months to take me. That I know I'm dying, and I'm dying fast, but not fast enough. The mind-boggling, non-stop, excruciating pain from head to toe. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia first at 7 out of 18, and then it flared right up to 18 out of 18. I mean, the doctor rarely sees something like that. So all my points were so bad. I was walking worse than a 90-year-old. I couldn't even lift my legs to walk. I had to drag, and baby drags too. So something that would take someone 1 minute to walk, it would take me maybe half an hour. That's how bad. Every movement in my body, every movement, I felt like I was on fire. Long story. Anyway, tendon ruptures, nerve damage, neuropathy, pins and needles, zapping. I felt like there was like I was getting zapped by lightning through my, especially through my right side of my body. It would go right through. Oh my God. I had severe insomnia for a year and a half to 2 years. I slept 1 to 2 minutes intervals for a total of 20 minutes a night. And in the 1 to 2 minutes, I also had psychotic nightmares. Arthritis, osteoporosis, osteopenia, immediately pre-diabetic, degenerative disc disease. I lost 2 inches within 2 months after finishing Cipro. And then another month or so, I lost another inch. So I lost 3 inches within like 5-6 months or something. And I mean, I have videos on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Teri Cipro Victim. I still have to find the other videos. I couldn't look at these I just started looking at them about a year ago, and I uploaded it finally. When I was in my worst state, when I had severe insomnia, and I just, I loved life. I always said I wish I could live forever, but you can't live you don't want to live forever if it's mind-boggling, excruciating pain that's out of this world, out of this universe, I mean, anyway, God didn't listen to me to take me fast, I had my miracle. Something had crossed my path. But for me, what works for one Floxy may not work for another. That's the problem. And you have to go with great caution. For me, I had nothing to lose at that point, and I jumped right into it. 6 a day of Colvita, collagen. And at the time, they didn't have Colway vitamin C, so I was drinking about 6 to 8 cups of lemon and water. And if you're going to do the lemon and water, because they do have the Colway vitamin C, and it's the best vitamin that you can find. Anything in North America is not as pure as something you'll get outside, especially with this company called Colway. If you do the lemon and water, it's 6 to 8 cups, but you have to make sure that your salt intake, your sodium intake, your sodium levels are balanced. Because if your electrolytes get out of balance, that's dangerous too. Also, I recommend, if you're going to do the lemon and water, to drink through straw, rinse your mouth, brush your teeth, whatever, because your enamel on your teeth will be, worn out and damaged. So, if you have your teeth left, a lot of Floxies lost their teeth or have, their teeth became really bad. I'm a bit fortunate, I think, because of the Colvita, because when I started taking it at 7 months out, the pain, my skull still hurts, by the way, on the left side. My skull feels bruised too, like my leg. I don't know why. It's not, it's just mild now, but before it was like so bad. And the fluoroquinolone toxicity was moving already into this left side of my face. Like, I got hit more on the left side. I was partially paralyzed. I couldn't stand or walk for more than 5-10 minutes at a time. If I would, I would start collapsing. It's like I had some kind of an attack, and just start screaming out to maybe some kind of attack. Anyway, I don't even know how to die. I was perfectly healthy until this doctor, family doctor, Dr. Adatia, at Don Mills Pina Plaza, between Stills and between Finch and Shepherd, off of Don Mills in Pina Plaza, and the pharmacy, Pharma Plus or whatever it's called. She has a walk-in clinic there. Dangerous doctor. I also submitted a complaint on with her to the College of Physician Surgeon. It was a really big one, 2,000 pages, and I won, but it was such a lame win. It was like a slap on the hand for her. So I appealed the win, and it went outside of the government, and I won again. And this time it was bigger, and it didn't look good on the college, because when I asked them for copies of the last 10 years, which we have a right to see, what her, how many people she injured, and I knew she injured people. And apparently, when I asked the college, they wouldn't give it to me. And when I submitted a complaint through the internet on ratemds.com, which is basically for North America, or maybe even the world. It's a very popular website where you can rate your doctor, any kind of doctor, hospitals, things like that. In there from 2007 onward, she had, oh my God, well over 30 serious, like pretty serious complaints. And I tried to submit, I printed they said they don't do that. I said, why? I said, these are serious. You need to investigate it. I'm not saying believe it, but you need to investigate in her records. Anyway, they refused. It went outside. So when it went outside and I appealed, they took a look at everything also, and they got the history, the doctor's 10-year history, and it turns out that she damaged 3 other people that submitted a complaint on her, just like me. And the only reason that I guess I'm the 4th victim is it was great that they submitted the complaint. They just didn't appeal. They got, and the doctor was reprimanded the same way. The 3 victims won, but it was the same shit, just like what they try to pull on me. A slap on the hand. Oh, we're going to teach her how to file, take notes, and something about writing prescription drugs, because she's writing a lot of wrong ones. Anyway, and I also suspect, this is a suspect, but I believe so, she came to Canada with false papers, false credentials, and back in the 70s and 80s, it was easy to do. She paid big money, falsified papers, university, doctorate, whatever. I'm almost 90% sure. So you really have to, So she came into Canada, she's registered with one of the big teaching hospitals, but you know what, how many complaints and how many people say, not to put anybody down, but she's not intelligent. She just knows how to give wrong prescriptions to elderly, to young people too. She ruins them, their ovaries, she ruins them. She blinded a 9-year-old, probably with a fluoroquinolone drop, I wouldn't be surprised, or something bad. Anyway, it goes on and on. Anyway, so Cipro, thank you. It keeps giving and giving, I'm sure a lot of you, if you've been following all my posts, that there's a couple of published researches, one in the USA with Joe King in 2014-15, and also with the Hungarians in 2017, both similar, and I'll tell you what it is. It's all it takes is 1 fluoroquinolone in any form, whether it's IV, pill form, ear and eye drops, liquid form, puffer, whatever. It just takes 1 to adduct your DNA within DNA. It remains in your body forever. And the Hungarians, what they discovered, they were actually doing research to show, how good Cipro, especially, the fluoroquinolones, how Cipro is good for cancer. And what they crossed in their research, they were horrified, and they were extremely horrified, because the worst part is it's the #1 antibiotic. These are chemo drugs, and anthrax drugs. Antibiotic given for just in case infections, also given through IV during even minor surgeries. It's in everything. It's in mesh. A lot of the mesh is dipped in Cipro and the fluoroquinolones. Sutures, if you're getting sewn up with the sutures, it's also dipped in. The medical surgery equipment also is cleaned and disinfected with Cipro. And we even got 1 victim that joined our group. This man, he had surgery, abdominal surgery. I don't know exactly what it was, but he had a really good doctor. And when he woke up, the doctor says, I did something extra special for you. He goes, before I closed you up, he soaked like a cotton swab or whatever in Cipro liquid or fluoroquinolone liquid and cleaned his entire stomach out, because his abdomen was completely open for the surgery. And then he says, and I did it twice, and that flocks the man, and the man is extremely debilitated and excruciating pain. Again, most people have adverse reactions usually 7 months out. It starts coming out after they stop taking the antibiotics, a 10-day course for a cold or a UTI or whatever. So they don't get immediate adverse reactions. But most, actually, it comes out years later, and then it continues normally, you know. And then there are some that don't seem to have an adverse reaction, but regardless, every single cell in their body has been damaged, you know. Maybe they don't feel it, but you never know when the bomb's going to go off in your body. It could be 10 years later. And in my case, I got immediate reaction right after the first pill, and for suspected UTI, I didn't even have. And the worst part is, and stones too, which I didn't have. I ended up in the ER on the 9th day. But the worst part is that, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I've come a long way, I can tell you. It's 2019 now, almost 2020. I should, yeah, 2020 almost. Another few weeks and we're into the new year. So 2013, April 30th, I was poisoned by 9 of 10 Cipro XL pills, 1,000 milligrams each pill, 1 pill a day. And after the first pill, my first adverse reaction was that my eyes went crisscross, double vision. And that night, my whole adult life, I slept 8 hours solid, deep sleep. I would wake up 8 hours without an alarm. If I had to get up early and I was only getting 6-7 hours sleep, which was not often, I would have to set the alarm because I can't wake up on my own. I couldn't wake up on my own. After taking the first Cipro pill, I started sleeping that night 1.5 to 2 minutes intervals for a total of 20 minutes a night for a year and a half, 2 years. Imagine. And my hair was falling out, and psychotic nightmares, severe brain fog, depersonalization, memory problems. It's like I had to relearn even simple words. My spelling, my whole life, right till grade school, well, grade 1 onward, spelling tests or anything, never had to study. I always got almost perfect. After this, I couldn't even spell the simplest things, and I still have problems. I'm not 100% better. I'm sure my IQ came down, quite a bit. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into it, but yeah. So please, the sad thing is, right across the world, in Canada, I'm in Canada, and in Canada alone, in the last 15 plus years, at least 90% of our population has taken at least one fluoroquinolone. And okay, when I'm saying 90% of our population go to the doctors. Of that 90% are prescribed usually an antibiotic, for colds and stuff, cuts, for infections, minor infections. And so of that 90% that go to the doctor, 90% are prescribed a fluoroquinolone. So it's still it's even more, because I had I've been advocating since September 2013, even though I was in such a bad state. I had to go out when I learned quickly what happened to me, because it happened immediately, which is rare. By September, this is in April, by September I started advocating. I gave out photocopies of researches of black boxes in the USA 2008, because we didn't have any label updates on the fluoroquinolones in Canada. Our first one was 2017, January 23rd, which is the USA's first black box on the fluoroquinolones in 2007. So we were 10 years behind, and you can imagine Europe, they're decades behind us. But we're moving forward with our annual rallies that Mark A. Gerard and myself, I'm known as Teri Koko, we've been putting it on annually, and this is the second year that we met with the health critic, and we just got an email back. Our rally was earlier in November 6th and 7th, and we just got an email back from the health critic, and they are looking into it, even last year. So things are moving, and watch all the videos from this year and all our rallies from last year. Mark A. Gerard gives a very good educational, informative speech at the rallies. And we meet with politicians, we meet with medical professionals. We even had some at our rallies, and some other important figures. And you know, even though we have a small crowd, we're making waves. So they're listening. Professionals, politicians, everyone, they're listening. So, but sadly, it's just not fast enough because our groups are growing daily, all groups with new victims, or victims that just found out maybe they were floxed 10 years ago, you know, and saying, oh my gosh, I had ALS and I took Cipro, or I took, and I didn't realize that, you know, like after I took this, my body started falling apart, you know. So it's, and it continues. Like I've had well over 30 damages, you know. My retina started detaching to umbilical cord hernia, again, degenerative disc disease, nerve damage, diabetes. My BPI is totally out of whack, but it's, I don't know if it's really any better. I was getting heart palpitation, continuous, nonstop, chronic, nonstop for, oh my gosh, from 2013 to about 2016. No. 2013, almost like immediately, I got all these reactions. Like within 2 months, well, within even a month or even a week, I already had well over 30 serious damages. Partial tendon ruptures in both my shoulders and biceps. I've been to probably, I don't know, 50 doctors, okay? But I have so much damage that I didn't, you know, I don't have it all documented because it's almost impossible to get the doctor to send you on a lot of tests. But a lot of the things that I'm mentioning, they were tested, and they were tested at, you know, like in 2013, 2014, because I had one really good doctor. Muscle fatigue, muscle swelling, osteopenia, you know, osteoporosis, osteopenia,